Welcome. You're listening to Under the Radar, brought to you by Fixed Frequency. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we are here to just play you some random, awesome underground music. Some from Saskatchewan, some from Alberta. You know, it just depends. You know, it's all underground. It's all Canadian. Well, most of it anyway.
Sun comes up on Santa Rosa. Garbage men are cleaning up the streets. There's a junkie sleeping in the shadows, and all around me I can feel the wind. Up in the sky I see Orion, and he's telling me a lie. The windows laugh at me 'cause it's so easy to see through me. Connect the dots and do your time. Every thought I have reminds me not to trust the headlights. Eat a peach and walk the line. From up on the roof I can see the sunset, and everybody coming home from work, except for me in my head. 'Cause loneliness a tired man makes. Up in the sky I see Orion, and he's telling me you lie. The windows laugh at me 'cause it's so easy to see through me. Connect the dots and do your time. Every thought I have reminds me not to trust the headlights. Eat a peach and walk the line.
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, no problem.
Little nervous, not gonna lie.
Oh, don't be nervous. That's silly.
So, I don't know. I definitely wanted to talk about how the heck did you guys get on Freaks and Geeks?
Yeah, well, I went to, I'm still really good friends with all of my kind of high school buddies. That's like kind of my closest group of friends. And one of the folks in my kind of core circle is a guy named Jake Kasdan. And he's made a bunch of movies. Most recently, he made the last two Jumanji movies. But he's also done a bunch of TV, and he and Judd Apatow connected early on in their careers, and so Jake was a producer maybe, and he directed a bunch of the episodes of Freaks and Geeks, and so you know, when one of the episodes called for a punk band, you know, he called and said, hey, you know, do you guys want to be on the show? And I said, yeah, of course we do. So yeah, I don't remember if we were on tour at the time or not, but it was really fun. You know, I remember the wardrober called us and asked for all of our sizes and everything, and we like went down to the, I don't know, wherever it was, the Universal lot, and we went to wardrobe, and they had, you know, just these racks and racks of 80s punk clothing, and we had to, you know, try on a bunch of stuff, and they took Polaroids of us in our, you know, leather pants and vests, and we picked some stuff out, and then we went, we shot, I think we spent a day on the set at a place called Al's Bar in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And you know, at the time, you know, none of those guys who all went on to become famous were famous, so, you know, it wasn't like we were starstruck at, you know, Seth Rogen or James Franco or any of them.
Well, no,
guys.
right?
We didn't know any of them were. And they had all these, you know, they had these like stuntmen who were crowd surfing, and, you know, they paid all these people to pretend like they liked us while we were playing.
Nothing like that, hey?
And, you know, somebody Steve would come up in between takes and, wipe the sweat off my face. And, it was really fun. It was, and who knew that it was going to become such a sort of cult favorite and last so long.
Right?
I remember we took a break and we were eating lunch and we were sitting with Jake, who was like, one of the most important people on the set, and I have to imagine that everyone was wondering why this like dumb punk band was sitting at lunch, why the director was sitting at a table with, the punk rock band from the episode. But yeah, it was really fun. It was fun to see. The show went off the air, got canceled before our episode aired.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, so in its original run, I think there were like 2 episodes left. It was on Fox here in the States, and it got canceled before our episode actually aired. So it wasn't until it started running on cable and on Netflix and all the other places.
I managed to catch reruns of the show actually in Canada here. I can't remember where where the reruns were, but I'm watching the show and I'm like, oh, Seth Rogen, cool. And then it gets to the episode where all of a sudden James Franco wants to become a punk and he is listening to the Black Flag Damaged, and all of a sudden out of nowhere you guys are in there. So I
know. I think that we're like the only music. I remember reading this somewhere. I don't know if it's true, but I think we were like the only music that was not from the decade that the show was set in. They had us play songs that sounded as close to sort of 80s. We played our sort of most hardcore songs. Not that we have those.
Yeah, what did you guys have?
We tried to sound kind of bad and just kind of like a like some crummy band you'd see in a punk bar at the time.
Well, the makeup was what got me. You guys all looked like corpses up there.
Yeah, they gave me like a mohawk and black eyeliner. It was all really fun. It was totally like it was just so out of the norm of what our daily lives were like, and not a world that we ever get to see. And of course, we were stoked to eat donuts off of the craft service table and just hang out. It was really fun.
Oh man, that does sound like a fun ass time. Did you guys ever get Did you guys ever get any other offers for TV shows after that, or was it just that was it?
No, I think the niche for pop punk bands on TV shows is pretty small. We've had songs and things here and there, but no, we were never actually appeared in something as a band. That was the only thing.
It started with you guys and Freaks and Geeks, and it ended with Blink-182 and American Pie, did it?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, there you go. We were actually, nobody ever says Diesel Boy. They're in the show. They're going to see a band called Puss.
Yeah, I forgot that's what they called you guys.
And there's a scene where James Franco's trying to impress this punk girl, which is why he ends up at the show. And they're watching us play, and he goes, "Puss rules!" And she says, "It's Puss," and they're on next. So we're the band opening for Puss.
That was one of my favorite episodes of that show. I'll give you that.
Well, thanks.
Here I am all alone again, with the TV glow and the sound of the trains rumbling. And after pushing the smoke from my lungs, the late night applause derails the thoughts from my head. I'm cold, careless yet frail, dangling like thread from the head of a nail. This is me after everything's through. This is me beginning to unscrew over and over again. This is me
So you were mentioning earlier that like you can also barely listen to cock rock these days. Like it's your least favorite. Is it just because it was like played so much, or it's like everyone's favorite and it just drives you nuts kind of thing?
I don't really know. I mean, I don't love the way it's recorded. You know, we had a short window to record it in, and I don't love the way it actually sounds. But
well, that guitar tone is quite legendary.
There's some songs I really like on there. I think there's a spirit to it that is just different from the other stuff that we did. You know, when all the songs that ended up on that record were just songs that we had from just being a local band and playing, and you know that we never intended them to be recorded or to be heard by lots of people. So there is kind of like a sort of just dumb, carefree kind of who cares kind of vibe and attitude about those songs that I think is probably, you know, if I had to guess, probably what speaks to people. Whereas the subsequent records, you know, were written, you know, we knew people would hear them, and I think we probably spent more time crafting them and working on them. You know, I think there's just something fun and dumb and, you know, sort of juvenile and lighthearted about that batch of songs that, you know, I don't know, seems to resonate with people.
Yeah, I get that, because, I mean, there's something about the way that real life in the big city is. Like, it just, that song in particular to me, like, I wanted to cover that with my band for the last 10 years, but we also want to extend it by, like, 2 or 3 minutes, too, because we just feel it's too short, and it's so damn good.
Well, you know, there's nothing wrong, thank you, first of all, but yeah, you know, there's nothing wrong with putting your own stamp on it, for sure. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know. I don't remember specifically writing that one or where, you know, sort of where that one came from. But you know, it's one of the more quote like serious ones on that record. Maybe the only one.
Yeah, I honestly, man, the last time I listened to that was like last year sometime. I'd have to spin it again here to figure it out.
Bossa Nova is kind of like a scorned love song that's kind of serious, but a lot of the rest of them are, you know, just kind of fun and silly.
A little goofy, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. My favorite record of all time, though, like, from most bands, like, you've got, like, almost the number one spot. Rode Hard and Put Away Wet, dude. Great album. Like,
thank you.
Like, it's seriously sad how, like, underrated that thing is.
I agree. I love that record, too.
Like,
my favorite of our records.
Like, the songs are just brilliant. Like, Big Sparkling New has the, like, some of the most, like, almost, like, tear rolling down the eye lines in that song.
Yeah, thanks. That's probably my favorite song on the record. I like that one, too.
Well, I don't
know. There was something about that record that just felt like, you know, there's definitely stuff on all of them that I like, but to me that one has less filler, and there's something like the good songs on that one I think are pretty good, and I just felt like we were, you know, I think we were finally becoming the kind of band that I sort of, you know, I think wanted to be. You know, I don't know that I'm saying anything especially profound, but I think, you know, I think our sound kind of matured, and lyrically maybe we matured, even though there's some pretty obnoxious lyrics on that record too. But
yeah, what was that?
Yeah, I don't know. It felt like, I don't know. For me, it did. It felt like we turned a corner, and I know a lot of my peers at the time, you know, were saying the same thing. You know, I remember one of the last times I saw Tony Sly, he was talking about that record and saying that he really loved that record, and you know, that meant a lot to me too. So you know, it may be underappreciated by the, like, you know, punk rock, you know, masses or whatever. It's definitely sold the least of all of our records, but it does feel like, you know, people who I respect and, you know, whose body of work I also like, you know, seem to like that record too, which, you know, is meaningful.
Like, it kind of felt to me like it went completely under the radar.
I mean, you know, also things at that time, you know, we didn't tour as much for that record as we did on others, and we sort of, you know, stopped playing, you know, not too long. I don't really exactly remember the timeline. So, you know, I think for that reason too, you know, and I think times were just changing. You know, that record came out in, I think 2000 or 2001, 2002. I can't remember exactly.
I think it was 2001.
But you know, I think that, you know, that at that point, you know, I think the record business started to change too from the mid 90s when we started making records. You know, it was a short span, but things turned quickly once sort of Napster came out, and you know, people just started buying records less. So I don't know. I don't know what the, you know, I can't say what why that is, but I'm sure that has a lot to do with it, that we didn't support it as much as we did some of our other records.
Seeing you again was blinding, like a match in a room with no light, a summer blast and a slow burn. Champagne in bed, just me, you and the bottle, and sublime as we ride through the town with the bass turned up loud. Well, you're 3 states away and it's not okay. Hitch a ride to California. I drove all night after kissing you goodbye. Now I'm home and I'm sad and I'm tired and I already miss you. I watched the sunrise through my favorite window, and the colors of the skies morning light move me much the way you do. Well, you're 3 states away and that's not okay. But you ride to California. Come see the ocean and the parking lots at the Golden Gate. I will wait for you. Silicon estates all wrapped in daffodils from Alcatraz. I skate for you on a rainy day. I swim across the bay for you with the sharks and the fog and the rocks. Hit you ride, hit you ride, hit you ride. Let's keep it simple, stupid. Nothing we can say to change the minds of ignorance these days. Now your infatuation takes you away in a different state. You become so foolish and still can break away. Is it hard to say? Gonna rock the days when you finally realize who you can be. You're second back, you're this best. I could care less, you did, 'cause that's a little number. You know, forget that's all even show to your stupid fucking funeral. I know a bunch of you would go, you stupid motherfuckers. You're second back, your last breath. I could care less, you did, 'cause that's a little number. You know, forget that's all even show to your stupid fucking funeral. I know a bunch of you would go, you stupid motherfuckers. You're second back, your last breath. I could care less, you did, 'cause that's a little number. You know, forget that's all even show to your stupid fucking funeral. I know a bunch of you would go.
I guess that does make sense, because I do remember having friends of mine that actually, they would drive like stupid hours just to go and see you guys live in like Calgary or Edmonton. And then I do remember you guys did come through Moose Jaw once.
Calgary, is that how you say it?
What's that?
Calgary, is that how you say it? I always call it Calgary.
Yeah, a lot of, it's, you know,
You're
everybody.
Canadian, is the correct pronunciation Calgary?
I'm thinking so, but maybe I'm just,
Well, you'd know. I'm not Canadian. I don't know.
maybe I'm just a Saskatchewanian who pronounces it wrong.
Well, maybe it's your regional accent. That could be. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
I can't remember where I was.
Something about driving long hours to Calgary.
Oh, yes. And then you guys did come through Saskatchewan a couple of times. I think you played Moose Jaw, if that rings a bell.
lot of touring in Canada. It was always one of our best markets. I think we've been to, I don't know if we've been to every province, but, we've been to Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and, across all, I think we've been to, how many provinces are there? 7? I don't know. It's okay. But I think we've been to most of them. So, I know we played, what else is in Saskatchewan? Where are the other cities?
Saskatoon, Regina.
Yeah, played there.
Those would be the ones worth playing. Yeah.
Yeah, we played there. We played both those places for sure. I mean, some of our best markets were like, Montreal, Quebec City, Toronto, definitely Calgary, Edmonton. So yeah, I mean, there were, from sort of a lot of Canada, all the Fat Wreck bands did so good up there. It was just weird that there was this pocket of, maybe it's not weird, but
actually it is
outside of California and some of the big cities or Chicago, like some of the markets that were really strong for the Fat bands, like Canada and especially Eastern Canada was just huge. The Fat band, we played huge places there.
Yeah,
we played for like 1,500 people. I mean, we didn't play in front of that many people in the States, like not on a headlining show.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting because that's where the population in Canada is, right? And I mean, there is some stuff going on down here, but I mean, like we're just a little prairie province. We barely have 1 million people here, and the population is so spread out, right? It's kind of like your Midwest in the States, right?
Yeah.
Like your population's all spread out, and you got little pockets of everything everywhere. So it's just kind of interesting to me how, Fat Records, the whole damn roster was just unbelievably popular here in this little dirt town of ours.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I'm glad that I got to see as many places as I did. I mean, it's great. Yeah, I loved that.
Yeah, because, I mean, everything around here is either country music or dance music now.
And Moose Jaw, I mean, what a great name for a town, Moose Jaw.
Well, you haven't been to Elbow or Eyebrow yet, then I take it.
No, that's true. I have not, but I have been to Moose Jaw.
Oh yeah, Climax. There's a town here called Climax.
Okay, I think there might be a Climax in America too.
My girlfriend just informed me that in Newfoundland there is a town named Dildo.
Okay.
So that's a thing.
How did we not play there?
Right? I mean, you guys got a strap-on your first album cover.
Exactly.
I'll never forget that strap-on 7-inch and ordering that, and my dad going, "What in the fuck?"
I know. A lot of the stuff just makes me kind of I mean, I can't believe that was our idea for the cover of the 7-inch, and that the label was like, "Yeah, sure, go for it. That's great."
I don't think Fat Mike would have given two shits about that, hey?
Well, apparently not. There's this hidden track at the end of Venus Envy of like two women having sex, which we thought would be funny to have kids like fall asleep, like listening to their CD, and then they wake up like 20 minutes later or forget that it was on, wake up to this thing, and I remember having to make that phone call and have that conversation where I had to ask Fat Mike if it was okay to put 15 minutes of lesbian sex at the end of our record.
You know what? You bastards got me with that, because I was listening to that album with my dad in the car one day on the way to Regina. And, all of a sudden that came through, and I'm just like, well, you know what? I'm going to see what my old man says about this. It come through on the stereo, and oh my fucking God, dude. And then right after that...
It's vibrant.
Yep. And then
colorful.
Was it right before or after when you were sitting there going, doing the Rock You Like a Hurricane takes?
I think that we spliced that in. That was just me, goofing off, getting my voice warmed up or doing whatever. So I can't remember. I don't know if I don't remember. To be honest, I have not listened to that to that part of the record, at least in quite a long time. I remember it. I remember recording it, but I haven't. I don't know. I think we just spliced in, us goofing off either somewhere before or after.
Either way, greatest secret track on an album, I gotta say.
Then we used to joke about wanting to record like women playing tennis and putting that at the end of one of our records.
Just the grunts.
Similar like grunting, but that never came to pass.
Are we running so far from facing the numbers? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I guess the only other thing I was going to ask is I remember when you guys kind of got back together, did that little demo thing a few years back, or at least jammed and put pictures up.
Yeah.
And then right after, shortly, it said you guys made a post saying that Jeff was leaving the band. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really, we tried to get it together to, I don't even know how many years ago it was, but, at some point I wrote a bunch of songs and we, I've been in Seattle for 20 years, and so the rest of the band is not, they're still in California, so geographically it was pretty challenging, but we gave it a go. We made a run at trying to make another record. I think we maybe got 10 songs done, and in fact, Marty from Bracket recorded us. We went down and we played them a few times, and we recorded them. And I sent them to Fat Mike, and at the time he was like, I like about half of this, like write this many more, and you guys will have a record, and I'll put it out. But and it had been pretty daunting to get to that many tracks, and I mean, it was just challenging. It was really hard given our, it's been a long time since we were a functioning band, and it was just hard to get it together, and I think it just felt overwhelming, and other factors would come in, and so. I mean, yeah, I guess Jeff is not in the band, but can you quit a band that doesn't really exist? I mean, I don't know. There's
good
no
point.
That bad feeling, and I still see him pop into our Facebook page every now and again. So, I mean, never say never, but maybe we'll do something with those songs someday. They just weren't recorded to be like released and consumed on that way. It really is a demo, but there's some good songs there. It would be nice for people to hear it. I just haven't figured out how to do that or what. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, every few years, we'll talk, and we talk about getting together and playing, and there's certainly offers for us to go do stuff or play big festivals. It's just we're not a functioning band, and we don't have a van. There's no infrastructure. It's like we have to fly in from places. We can't rehearse. It's like we're out of practice. So it can just be challenging, and we're all busy with families and other stuff. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do talk to Greg once in a blue moon.
Yeah, we text every now and again. He'll send me something, and I mean, we spent so much time together over the 10 years or whatever that we were playing. It's like what else is there to say? We've said all there is to have possibly said to one another in the 10 years.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've been in a band for 10 years, and I mean, we've never played a show. We just get together, record.
10 years in the band and never a single show?
Well, I guess I try to call it a single show, but it was in a basement with a bunch of high school kids, and halfway through our first song, all these kids just decided to go into a bedroom and smoke dope.
All right.
That was our first show.
I would take some pride from that.
That was our first show, and my guitar player doesn't consider that a show.
We've had worse.
I'm in the full moon, there's a running from the hall. If you don't dance around, just bringing up the wall. I know we stand, we're not just at the call. Don't leave me hanging on the telephone. Don't leave me hanging on the telephone. I heard your mother, now she's going out the door.
Well, that's the nice thing about music these days. Like, you can do anything on your own now. So, like, even say if that's what you wanted to do with the new Diesel Boy stuff, you could just probably put that on Bandcamp for pay what you can or $1, and I guarantee you guys some people would buy that. Because I know
I've been considering that, especially because Bandcamp has been, giving all the money to artists while during quarantine. Like, I think they said they're going to do it once a month for the next few months. So that idea did pop into my head. So, I don't know if that'll actually come to pass. But yeah, I mean, that stuff is really great. It's nice that I can just demo on my Mac, and I don't need anyone else. I don't need to get into a room, and I can just sort of record.
That's exactly what we do. I actually still have an old Boss. It's a BR 1600. I've owned it.
Is that like a 4-track recorder or something?
It's actually an 8-track recorder.
Okay, on cassette tape?
Sort of. It's like a mix of digital and cassette. Like, it works like an old cassette recorder, but it's got a digital hard drive in it. It doesn't have the best sound effects or the best processor or anything, because it's like...
Well, it's a Boss.
Yeah, it's a machine from 2001, so I mean... But it's...
Although I like the Boss tuners. I shouldn't smack talk Boss. I've got a Boss tuner that I like.
Yeah. Like, I'll actually... I'll send you a couple of my band's albums on Facebook if you want to hear them. I record everything through the BR. Everything.
Sure.
And,
somewhere in the basement I've got like a Tascam, one of those 4-track cassette recorders. And I always felt like it was really hard to use. Like, GarageBand is so easy. But yeah, somewhere in the basement I've got one of those.
Those tape things, I remember they played it. They recorded it at a weird speed, so you had to
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, you had to set it to something, a certain thing, to make it play in a normal tape player. I remember that.
I think that's true. I think you'd have to bounce it from that to a cassette deck in order to...
Yes, that's what it was.
Master.
Because it recorded...
I think it records faster because then you can get, it sounds better if the tape's moving faster.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I never did like messing around with them, but I think that's how Lucero, I can't remember how you pronounce that band's name. They made an album like that.
Lucero, yeah.
Yeah. They made an album on one of those things back in the day, and it was actually pretty decent from what I remember.
Yeah.
Every time I hear your name bears an uncanny resemblance to defeat. I never want to touch base because it's hard to face the things we've been. I don't remember the precious things. Remember the ways you showed your worth. All of this breathing in and never breathing out. When you feel the fall, I'll bring it down to where I go. And that's what I know of life, 'cause it was all I've shown. What I know now, I could never go back to you. Disconnect and disconnect and disconnect. The heart attack, it comes right back, right where we left off. I point the gun too much. Yeah, fuck, you're such an easy target. I couldn't carry a goddamn thing, but you gave it anyway. Half flattered you believed in me. I'm sorry you made a mistake. When you feel the fall, I'll bring it down to where I go. And that's what I know of life, 'cause it was all I've shown. What I know now, I could never go back to you. 'cause it was all I've shown. What I know now, I could never go back to you. Disconnect and disconnect and disconnect. What I know now, I could never go back to you. Disconnect and disconnect. 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 Disconnect and